So then, Gab Marcotti, apart from counting all of his payoff money, what next for Mourinho?
Well, we've been wondering that. There's a column about this going up on the site on Wednesday, Dan. I don't think there's any question that in the eyes of people making hiring decisions at big clubs, Jose Mourinho is now very much a damaged brand. This was going to be his bounce back opportunity after what happened at Chelsea and Real Madrid at Old Trafford, and it just simply didn't work out that way. And I think especially the nature of his problems, you look at the way the game has changed, it's now globalized, they're running a business, and having a guy who brings this toxicity and negativity with him, that's going to put people off. So too will the fact that, this is a guy who will go and call out his employers if he's not getting what he wants. This is a guy who's going to go and isn't going to be afraid to go and take on his biggest stars and bench them and criticize them. And, these days, great footballers are assets on a balance sheet to clubs. It's just the way the game is going now. So put all those things together, and before we even get into something like his style of play and how different it is, certainly among the top clubs in Europe, with the possible exception of Atletico Madrid and occasionally Juventus, nobody really plays that way. It's hard to see him getting a job, I think, at that highest level.
Maybe just down the level slightly, though. We've seen him linked to Inter Milan.
Well, funnily enough, Inter Milan are the one club that he did not leave on bad terms. Inter Milan, and I should say Porto as well. Maybe Laria before that as too. But and so inevitably people are going to make that connection. Spalletti's certainly right now, Inter will tell you that Spalletti has their trust. We'll see what happens at the end of the season. Certainly working for Inter means embarking on a long rebuild job, doing so within the confines of financial fair play. And, in terms of media criticism and intrusion, and, we heard Craig say how stressful the job is. That's certainly not going to be any less stressful. And in fact, in some ways, it's going to be more stressful than United was. So I honestly don't know. There's also the possibility of the Portugal job when that job comes available. But what I do hope is that Jose Mourinho goes away, takes some time to reflect, sees what he could have done differently, maybe gets himself a little bit up to date, and comes back and kind of rebuilds.
Damaged brand's a nice way of putting it. If you were in charge of a club, would you consider bringing him in?
Depends what the scenario was and how desperate you are. But I think he needs to go away and recharge his batteries for sure. And again, it's the day-to-day running of a club, the day-to-day dealing with the media, which he used to handle very well, but doesn't seem to handle it as well these days, and it's a downward spiral. Is it international management? Yeah. Is that it? But is there a job that's available that he fancies? I don't know. I think certainly the real big clubs at the top end now, I think are going to be thinking twice.
International, though, would make sense, wouldn't it? Yeah. That's about getting it done, getting results.
It would, but then saying that, it's a different mentality. Whether Jose Mourinho is happy to, coach once every couple of months and whether he misses the day-to-day, that's a decision for him to make. There are managers who prefer international and some who like the day-to-day. But of the clubs that you think Jose Mourinho sees himself at, I don't think any would be interested. Outside of possibly PSG, if Tuchel somehow makes an absolute mess of things over the next 18 months. Outside of that, I'm not really sure who plans for Mourinho.
So 3 seasons, that's how long Jose Mourinho lasted at Manchester United. Familiar feeling, isn't it? Same as Chelsea and Real Madrid. Be interesting to see what next then for Mourinho.